The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow alone. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Welcome into a Friday edition of Running Point. You notice the growth is gone. Look a little bit younger, maybe? I don't know. Hopefully I do anyway. I was tired of seeing the gray. I mean, I get enough gray up here. I don't need to see the gray on the beard. So I was just like, F it, we're out of here. And shaved it off last night. So there you go. All right, welcome into a Friday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. If you're in the market for a brand new or slightly used automobile, do yourself a favor. Do your wallet a favor. You got to head over to Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Been telling you folks this for months. Greenwood Chevrolet has the three qualities that a car dealership must have in order to be a great car dealership. They have a tremendous sales department. People that are not going to sell you a lemon. They're not out to screw you financially. They are legit at what they do. A great finance department led by Latonia grad Tracy Bryden, don't you know? They are going to get you the best deal possible with interest rates on your loan. And finally, the best service department, because, you know, sooner or later, your baby's going to need some work done, whether it's the typical oil change, whether you wrecked your car, whether you wrapped it around a telephone pole and you need some repairs done. Well, the service department, hey, they get the job done, and they're not going to charge you an arm, a leg, and your firstborn. Great sales department, great service department, great finance department equals great dealership, and that is exactly what Greenwood Chevrolet is. So before you put pen to paper and sign your life away with a 7 or an 8 year loan, depending on how much money you're planning on spending, please, 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 before you put pen to paper, go to Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown and let them earn your trust. Give them a chance to earn your business. You will not be sorry. Believe me when I tell you. All right, we're with you till 3 o'clock on this Friday edition of Running Points. We are down to one team each in boys basketball and girls basketball. The McDonald Blue Devils will be playing for a state championship tomorrow morning at 10:45. McDonald will be playing a really, really good Fort Laramie team tomorrow morning. Fort Laramie, 28-1. They're coming off a 66-24 pounding of Convoy Crestview in the state semifinals. And then McDonald took the floor and they did some pounding of their own. They defeated Waterford 57-29. McDonald 24-2 on the campaign. The Howard girls scored 32 of the 57 points. Sophie Constantino had 15. It was just an outstanding performance by McDonald. Tony Matizzi's team in the state championship game for the first time in quite some time. And I'll be curious to see how well they come up or how well they play against a really, really good Fort Laramie team. But congratulations to McDonald getting to the state championship game. Bravo, ladies. Bravo. All right, Warren JFK is left in the boys tournament. They will be playing Richmond Heights in the regional championship game tonight. It's going to be an uphill battle. Look, try that again. Richmond Heights was the odds-on favorite to win the region. Not to say that JFK can't do it. JFK can beat Richmond Heights, but they're going to have to play an unbelievably great game, limit the turnovers, play some solid defense, baseline to baseline, end line to end line, play that solid D, and hit your shots and hit your free throws and hold on tight. Because Richmond Heights, they're a cut above, but they are beatable. They're beatable. They're just a cut above, and hopefully JFK can knock this team off tonight. It's going to take an unbelievably solid effort. Again, baseline to baseline, end line to end line defense. Every square inch of that floor has to be defended, and I think JFK has a shot here. They definitely have a shot. Struthers and Cheney both went down to defeat last night. Struthers just ran into an ungodly team. They're unbelievable. Akron St. Vincent St. Mary is just, they are an incredible basketball program. And unfortunately, Struthers did something that they have done and had a bad habit of doing through the course of the season. They got off to a slow start. Well, you can't get off to a slow start against a team as great as Akron St. V and live to tell about it. And unfortunately, Struthers was down 22 at the end of the first quarter. They were down 37 at halftime and played the entire second half via a running clock. And St. V's is that good, kids. They're unbelievable. They beat Struthers last night 76-37. Look, Struthers loses 7 seniors on this team. What an unbelievable season for the Wildcats. They did everything that you wanted a basketball team to do. They scheduled they had a good non-conference schedule. They played the game extremely hard. They were extremely successful, not just in the Northeast 8. They were extremely successful in their non-conference schedule as well. They just ran into a better team. And you tip your hat and you say, you know what? Shit happens. It just does. You tip your hat and you move along. St. V's they're the best team in this region. They just are. Unfortunately, St. V's doesn't get a chance to play Cheney. Cheney lost to Gilmore Academy. And same thing with Cheney. Look, they played well. I loved what the coaching staff did and what the AD did by challenging these guys. I absolutely loved their unbelievably difficult non-conference schedule, and it prepared them. Cheney lost because stuff didn't go right. They didn't get the ball in the hoop good enough. They started out well. You had a 15-5 lead, and then Gilmore decided they wanted to change things up, so they went into a triangle and 2, a box and 1, and it flustered the hell out of Cheney. I mean, they were outscored the rest of the night 54-37. They were outscored by 17 points the rest of the night. They had a 10-point lead at the end of the first quarter, but you give all the credit in the world to Gilmore Academy and their coaching staff. I mean, they saw that what they were doing in the first quarter wasn't working, and they were going to get blown out of the friggin' gym if they stayed with what they were doing. So they switched it up. They went to a box and 1. They went to a triangle and 2, and the guards couldn't penetrate. It was a fantastic defensive performance by Gilmore Academy, and they earned the victory. And again, you have to tip your hat. Look, things didn't go right. It's every once in a while, and unfortunately, this is the cruel part of tournament basketball. You could have everything go right for one night, and you can upset anyone that you want to upset during the course of tournament basketball. And it's been duly noted for years and years and years and years. There are Cinderella teams that can just do whatever the heck they want to do on a given night. And on this particular given night, it was the opposite. You can get good looks in the basket, but if the shot doesn't fall, the basketball gods, small g, aren't on your side. It is what it is. It's just a bad night. You can't explain it. It just is what it is. And unfortunately, that's part of what happened with Cheney. I mean, look, the defense, the box and one, the triangle and two, that flustered Cheney. I don't think there's any question about that. That flustered him. You could see on the basketball floor. But they had open looks. The shots just didn't fall. It happens. On a tournament night, it happens. And that's where part of this, I don't want to say a great part of it, but part of this whole tournament experience is luck. It absolutely is luck. Part of it. Not a lot. I mean, look, at the end of the day, the best teams are going to wind up winning this tournament. They just are. The best teams will ultimately win this tournament, or the team that is the hottest team in the tournament will wind up winning the tournament. But there's going to be times where, unfortunately, you're going to have to be lucky. On a night when stuff don't go well and your shots aren't falling, you're going to have to play solid defense. You're going to be able to have to take care of business. And unfortunately, everything went downhill pretty quickly after the first quarter. Now, Cheney was up by 5 at halftime, 28-22. Actually, it was 27-22, I beg your pardon. 27-22, and the game was tied at 37, the end of the third quarter. So it was a tightly contested game, and then unfortunately Gilmore stepped on the gas. It is what it is. It's unfortunate, very unfortunate. And hopefully Cheney will learn. Now, they do lose 3 really, really good seniors. But the beautiful thing about Cheney's program, they got a lot of sophomores and juniors on this team. They got a lot of soon-to-be seniors and soon-to-be juniors on this team. Cheney ain't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. This team is going to be pretty much in the fold for another district championship. But unfortunately for this area, girls basketball is a little further ahead in terms of our progress than boys basketball. Right now it is. It's not to say that stuff isn't going to change. I mean, I've seen enough basketball over the last 3 or 4 years to convince me that there is going to be a team from our area in boys basketball that will finally break that glass ceiling that's been hanging around for the last 11 years or some ridiculous number. And we're going to have a team make the trip to Columbus or Dayton or wherever the hell they put the state tournaments in the near future. But, for Struthers last night, look, they ran into a buzzsaw. They ran into arguably the best team in the state of Ohio, period. Doesn't even matter what division. Struthers ran into the best team in the state of Ohio. And, you put yourself behind the 8 ball immediately, you're not going to come back against that team. You're down 22 at the end of the first quarter. Yeah, that's too much to ask. Way too much to ask. For Cheney, stuff didn't fall. The basketball gods, small g, weren't on your side. And you credit Gilmore Academy for playing some really good defense. Two disguised defenses that I absolutely love seeing played when they play it properly. And Gilmore Academy did. The box in 1 and the triangle in 2. When you play those 2 defenses properly, oh, good Lord, you can shut some people down. And that's exactly what they did. The guards weren't able to penetrate. The game was lost there. And kudos to Gilmore Academy and St. V's. You tip your hat to them, and those two teams will play each other. St. V's will murder them in their sleep, and they'll go into the state semifinals. And next year, hopefully, we get a few more teams to crash the party as district champions and move on to regional play. And I wouldn't sleep on Cheney anytime soon next year. They're going to be back. And I think Struthers, even though they're losing 7 seniors, Struthers has some talent. I don't think they're going to be – they're probably not going to be 25-0 again next year, but they're going to be a good team. Well, listen, they lose a lot of kids, but they're still going to be a good team. That program has gotten good. Coach Wernicke does a fantastic job over there, and that program is going to be good for a long time. Both programs are, and congratulations to both Cheney and Struthers on outstanding seasons, and hopefully both teams will make a go of it next year. And hopefully we'll get a few more teams from the Mahoning Valley into regional play. So the basketball hat for boys basketball is now squarely on the head of Warren JFK as Warren JFK takes on Richmond Heights tonight, and hopefully JFK can slay the beast that is Richmond Heights and go to the Final Four. That would be fantastic. Hopefully that happens. 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. We had Rob Schmidt on yesterday to talk about the passing of Joe Tate, and we, toward the end of the interview, had said with the YSU football team losing one of their starting defensive linemen, Antoine Cook, I asked Rob, what is the status of the basketball team as of right now? And he had said, well, about a week or so we'll see where the transfer portal is. Well, it didn't take long. The transfer portal is filled with Penguins. Darius Quisenberry is leaving the men's basketball program. He is entering the NCAA transfer portal. I can tell you 2 other players are going to be hitting the transfer portal as well. Jeff Hampurian and Ganley Jr. is the third player that is going to be hitting the transfer portal. Those are the 3 kids as of now that have put themselves in the transfer portal. All 3 of those kids will be leaving the Youngstown State University men's basketball program, and we wish all 3 of them well. All right, let's go to the phone lines at 330-886-0813. Tony, you're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What's up, brother?
Hey, Ron, how you been?
I'm good.
Good. Hey, one team not to leave out for the near future is Warren JFK, please. Because though they seem like a one-trick pony in a lot of people's mind, and Cam's been fun to have there for those guys, but they're a talented young group of guys who played together for a long, long time.
No, they're going to be heard from. Even when Hollabaugh and that class is graduated, they're going to be heard from for years to come, no doubt.
Yeah, I don't really haven't watched them. I know at least one of the younger kids, and they're talented and well coached, and I think they're well coached behind the scenes too. And so just watch them. These kids have been together for a long, long time. So
it'll be fun to watch. They have their hands full tonight. Richmond Heights is a really, really good basketball team, and they beat Bristol by 40. That wasn't a
Bristol's a good team.
Yeah, that wasn't that wasn't one of those. Oh well, Bristol must have had a really, really bad night. No, Richmond Heights is that good. And JFK has their hands full. And what they're going to have to do tonight, every square inch of that basketball floor from baseline to baseline and end line to end line, you better defend it, and you better defend it well.
You know what? Let's not. I don't want to say sleep on Kenny because they are a prohibitive underdog, but they beat McDonald by 22.
Oh yeah. No, listen, they're capable of beating Richmond Heights. They're capable of beating them. They're just going to have to play.
Discipline.
Yeah, they're going to
That's
have to
what
play
I'd
an
say.
even better game against McDonald to knock down Richmond Heights. But they're going to have to, first and foremost, you better hold this team down to under 55 to have any chance at winning this game.
Yeah, it's going to take discipline.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's gonna take- and get Richmond Heights out of. You just get them playing out of control. I don't know how disciplined Richmond Heights is. God knows they're. Hey, if you're a Division IV team and you've got a Iowa State recruit, you got two legs up on everybody else, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And look, I mean, you can't outrun them. They're gazelles. You're not gonna run them down the floor. You got to play a half court game, and you got to break them down that way. And hopefully JFK can do this.
Yeah. So, okay. Hey, kind of getting excited about football. Are we going to skip over baseball or?
No, I'm not skipping over baseball. I've told people. I said, and I don't normally gamble on baseball because I kind of want to keep my good standing in the game. But I will tell you right now, if I were to put money on a future bet, there's good value in the Indians winning their division this year.
Wow.
There's good
Hey, by the
value
way,
in that.
I thought I heard something public recently. Did anything public going on with you?
In terms of.
Never mind. It must. I thought I
Oh no! With me getting the scrapper's job, yeah, that's public.
okay, because I thought I heard it. Somebody talking about it. And
Yes.
Talking about
Yeah,
somebody else.
Yeah,
and
this was
and
announced earlier in the week.
I didn't know if that was true or not, and I just wanted to.
Yeah, it was announced earlier in the week. We had Jordan Taylor on. The games are going to be heard on ysnlive.com. As per the Draft League rules, the home broadcaster will be broadcasting the game for both the home team as well as the visiting teams broadcasting.
hard to do?
What's that?
Is that hard to do?
No, not at all. I mean, it's they're gonna hook up to our feed. The visiting teams will hook up to our feed, and then we'll just go from there. It's I understand.
I mean, you could be a little bit of a homer when you're,
I
when you're not representing both teams.
Tony,
is that hard to do?
Yeah, Tony, I'm not a homer when I do baseball games. That's
okay.
Yeah, I don't do that. That's I mean, don't get me wrong. I want the team to win, but I'm not a homer when I do games. I love good baseball,
game, right?
And if someone makes an unbelievable catch on the other team or does something unbelievable at the plate, no, I'm going to let everyone know that it's an unbelievable play or an unbelievable
What
catch.
a great place for you to be, because man, you are going to see some just stupid, crazy talent coming through there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, and we kind of hit on this earlier in the week. There's a common misconception running around that people aren't going to, or that college kids aren't going to want to play this because they think that, I'm a secured first-round draft pick. I'm not going to play. I think there's going to be very few of those kids that are going to do that, because I'm going to tell you right now, there is a gigantic difference between fourth-round money and first-round money. Third-round money.
The other thing is there are no
first-round
guaranteed talents. I mean, you want to match up. I mean, don't you?
Well, there's kids that you are pretty much secure in saying they'll be first-round talent, but there's first-round talent, and then there's supplemental first-round talent or late first-round talent. And, again, there's a big difference between third- and fourth-round picks and first-round picks in terms of how much money you're going to be getting. And I think there's going to be a lot of kids that are going to be interested in this. And prep baseball reports and Major League Baseball are going to, on an equal basis, they're going to determine who these players are that are going to be invited. Draft-eligible college kids, draft-eligible junior college kids, draft-eligible high school kids. They're going to invite the best of the best of the best and evenly distribute them.
And then there'll be a second wave, correct?
I beg your pardon?
There'll be a second wave after the draft?
It depends. I don't know what the teams are going to what their stance is going to be. I can tell you, Tony, if I were a general manager of a team, and one of my
How many
kids,
teams, first of all?
6 teams. So
Okay.
if one of my kids was drafted, I would pretty much let that kid finish out the season, because you're not going to be putting this kid into low A ball, and unless, of course, that's the plan. Now, if that's the plan, that you're going to put these kids into low A baseball, okay, well then that's a completely different story.
Now, didn't the Indians add a low A out in Arizona?
No, they have a rookie team, and then they have their low A team in Lake County, their high A team in the Carolina League. Akron is their double A team. Columbus is their triple A team.
They bumped Lake down to a high or low A.
No, I think they're going to be high A. I beg your pardon. Carolina League is going to be low A. And I always have this thing confused. Lake County's in the Midwest League. That's going to be high A baseball. So
full season A.
Yeah, it's full season high A ball, and then you have full season low A ball, full season double A, full season triple A, and then the show.
So the Indians just got rid of their low A then, right?
No, the low A is still part of that. They're going to have a low A, high A, double A, triple A in major leagues. They got rid of.
I must be missing something.
Yeah, they got rid of.
Low A was.
Their team in the Carolina League is now low A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Carolina League is low A. Midwest League is high A.
They have a Carolina League team in.
I want to say I want to say Lynchburg is their low A team.
Lynchburg was double A though.
No, they're not double A.
They were double A. That's where you went after you went from Lake County.
No. You went to Akron, or you went to high A. Lynchburg was their high A team, so they've just flip flopped. So Lynchburg is now low A, and Lake County is high A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they flip flopped.
I'm getting a headache.
Yeah, you and me both.
But so the Scrappers are the only Indians affiliate we lost.
Yes, yeah. The short A ball is gone. Their rookie league team is still around, and
so
then
16 times how big a roster?
I'm sorry.
16 teams, how big a roster?
Well, there's only 6 teams in the draft league.
Oh, 6 teams. I thought you said 16.
Yeah, there's only 6 teams.
How many man roster?
I don't know. They haven't determined that yet. I would imagine somewhere around 30, but I have no idea.
25 or 30, huh?
Yeah, I have no idea, though. So
okay, 6 times a couple hundred kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not that's the cream of the crop, man.
No, absolutely it is, and that's where and I got to imagine that most, if not all, of these kids will be drafted, considering it's a 20-round MLB draft, and you only have 6 teams, and let's say that 30 is the roster limit, and you're talking about 180 kids. Well, 180 kids, that's about 6 rounds. That's constituting 6 rounds, because there's 30 teams in Major League Baseball. So you're talking about 6 of the 20 rounds. I mean, every single one of these kids, and there's a pretty good chance all of the kids in this league are going to be drafted.
Well, if what you assume is correct, that all the kids play and don't sit out.
Well, yeah, I mean, and we'll see what happens. I think there's going to be a lot of kids that are going to be excited to play this.
So beyond announcing, or you're just straight up announcing?
That's it.
You don't have anything to do with media development?
I don't have anything to do with anything except for the announcing of the games.
Okay, but you'll have pretty much unlimited access to these kids, right?
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of the things I look forward to. The pregame show with interviews and the interviews we can get on this show. We're looking forward to doing an awful lot of spotlighting of the players on ysnlive.com and an awful lot of interviewing during my show Monday through Friday. So this baseball season is going to be a lot of fun.
It's exciting. It's exciting. So many of these unknown or relatively unknown commodities for a local media, how quickly they jump off the page at you when they're on their field.
Yeah,
a Freeman came out of nowhere. Nobody knew who a Freeman was, but man, he was just a freak from day one.
Yeah.
And Nolan Jones, the first time you saw him swing a bat, you just it was beautiful.
Yeah. Nolan Jones got sent back to the minor leagues today, which I'm good with that. He can start off in AAA ball, and let's see what he does. There's no room for him anyway because Ramirez is playing third base now. So if you get
Did he clean up his errors?
I mean, I would if I were the Indians, I'd stick an outfield glove on him and let him diversify himself. Right field, because of his cannon, would probably be the ideal spot for him. And let's be honest, Tony, the Indians' outfield situation isn't exactly the greatest in the world. So his probably the fastest way to get to the major leagues is if he starts roaming right field and gets himself to be a solid defensive player in right field, and then we can get him into the show and put him as an everyday right fielder, because this kid can hit left-handed pitching. His bat is special.
Yeah, it's sweet. Now that I talk baseball, can I talk about the Bills?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was there was no way I saw them signing Matt Milano. And for Browns fans who don't know who Matt Milano is, he's Joe Schobert with the ability to cover. He's a great coverage linebacker.
Yeah, it's. I heard whispers that when they released Jefferson and Brown, I heard whispers that they were doing this for the sole purpose of getting Milano, and I thought to myself, no way in hell they're able to do this. And Brandon Beane's a friggin' genius because
he's still got it. He's got some more rabbits up his sleeve, I think, because he can't be done yet.
They still have plenty of money to go get themselves a pretty decent offensive lineman, and the guy that I would love to see is the former Brown, Mitchell Schwartz, because he's got a lot of tread left on that tire, and I don't know why the hell the Chiefs released Schwartz and Fisher, their starting tackles, other than the fact
money. I mean, they were up against a salary.
Yeah, other than the fact that they're screwed money wise. But look, I mean, you would have thought that the preview of things to come for the Kansas City Chiefs against a solid pass rush that was Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. That's a preview of things to come for Kansas City for the next year or so, unless they get themselves a dependable left and right tackle. Because
don't forget their center. Their center is free agent too, and it looks like they're not going to be able to sign him either.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But if I were the Bills,
60% of your line.
Yeah, well, it's over 50%. It's 60% of your line.
60.
Yeah, if I'm the Bills, I'm signing Mitchell Schwartz if I can, and I'm moving the kid from Okie State to the guard position, and then I'm set. I'm ready to go. Yeah,
Schwartz is going to come with the premium unless he's made enough money in his career that he's just. I don't know when they reach that point. I don't know if it's ego or whatever. Maybe some of them don't.
Well, and the other thing, Tony, is he's already got a ring, so he may ask for a lot of money at which point. Then you have Williams, who's the Bills' right tackle, who did a pretty nice job. He's a free agent.
Williams did a very, very nice job.
Yeah.
But again, he's going to demand some money. And if Schwartz is willing to come at a discount, I mean, he's a more premium tackle than Williams is.
Yeah, and
Feliciano, he's gone, right?
Yeah, I would think that he is. I would think that he is because I don't want. I don't want the and the name of the name of the kid. No, Ford. I don't want him at a tackle spot. He's a better guard than he is a tackle. So Feliciano, to me, he can go elsewhere because Ford is my right guard. I want him to be the right guard.
Who is that ass of a guard that played for Miami and Buffalo, and now he's at maybe a free agent out at
and they're actually talking about him coming back to Buffalo. Richie,
Incognito.
Yeah, Incognito is. They're actually. There were whispers that they wanted to get him back to Buffalo.
He has no real market value, does he? Can he still play?
Probably not. I mean, I think he can still play, but you got to just basically sit on him and hope that he's not the a-hole that he was 3 or 4 years ago.
Interesting. Exciting. I think that I'm just excited.
Yeah,
So,
look, I want to see what these guys do in the draft because clearly they still need some pass rushing help, and if you can go get yourself a running back, and let's say Etienne from Clemson is available, that wouldn't be a bad first round draft pick, but I'd much rather shore up the offensive and defensive lines and go from there.
I think Dane Jackson. They have so many young kids who are on the verge. I think the tackle, the defensive end, Dane Jackson. I think doesn't get enough credit for an undrafted free agent. I mean, they've got some young kids who may blossom this year.
Dane Jackson.
You may not like this, but I think Dawson Knox is due to break out.
He's. I'll believe it when I see it.
Sure, okay.
He's. I don't want to say he's as bad as Njoku, but he's close. He's close and in terms of ineptness when it comes to catching a football. He's pretty close to Njoku level. But you brought up Dane Jackson. It would not surprise me if he's opposite Tre'Davious White because that kid can flat out cover. He's going to be a good corner. I really believe that.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of. The corner from the Browns. He's got that syndrome. He's just a little small.
Yeah, he is, but I think he can. I think he can play, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm excited with Milano back. As long as he stays healthy, the linebacking core remains intact, and that's one of the strengths of the defense. And I'm excited as hell for this team this year.
The biggest thing through all this as a Bills fan that's got me excited is the fact that your whole team has bought in. You've got a guy saying, "Okay, I'll give back $2 million." You've got two guys saying, "I'll give back $2 million."
Yeah.
Let me play here. Let me stay. I'll get back $2 million.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. It is going to be a lot of fun to watch, and there's expectations level. Expectation is get back to the AFC title game and let's take care of some unfinished business. So that's a lot of expectation. I mean, championship game appearances those don't come along very often. So hopefully Buffalo can exceed expectations this year.
Well, again, they advanced two steps over the previous year, so let's hope for 2 more steps this year.
Well, yeah, you get 2 more steps this year, then they're hanging on to a Lombardi trophy, and I lose my mind on the air. So there you go. Okay,
my friend.
All righty, sir.
Congratulations on that new gig you got going on.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir.
Bye.
All right, Tony from Hallen on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. You can give me a shout, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Made mention the YSU men's basketball team will be 3 men short. Darius Quisenberry, Jeff Hampurian, and what was his name? Gary Handley Jr. They're all transferring out of Youngstown State. Now, in Quisenberry's case, he's already graduated from YSU, and I believe Hampurian has also graduated from YSU, and both of those kids, they're probably looking to do more of a master's program, more so Hampurian than Quisenberry. Quisenberry will probably go to a, and I'm using air quotes here, better mid-major, like an A10 school. By the way, he comes from Dayton. The home college in his hometown, or at least in the area in which he was, in which he played high school basketball, Dayton would be a good landing spot for Quisenberry. And Quisenberry majored in telecommunications. He wants to be a sports broadcaster. Well, Dayton has a pretty good program. So if Quisenberry wanted to get his master's degree, which I believe he's going to, he can stay home and play at the University of Dayton and be in the Atlantic 10, which is allegedly a better conference. And I think that he could help an A10 program. So it wouldn't surprise me if Darius was playing basketball in his backyard and he was a member of the Dayton Flyers for 2 more years, because he has 2 years of eligibility left. With Hampurian, I don't know. I don't know where he goes. Maybe he drops down one level and dominates Division II. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Ganley Jr., same thing. I don't know. As far as how many other players are going to transfer out, not sure. Not sure what's going to happen. Hopefully, this is it. Hopefully, there's all of the kids are ready to play basketball next year, and again, the freshmen repeat their freshman year. Everyone stays where they are. This was the gimme year, thanks to COVID. So hopefully, everything stays where it is right now. But right now, the Penguins they have 3 kids in the transfer portal, and they will be leaving Youngstown State University. Darius Quisenberry, Jeff Hampurian, and Ganley Jr. Are all going to be leaving the YSU basketball program. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. We'll take a timeout, take your phone calls. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. With you till 3 o'clock. The cleanly shaven Ron Potesta with you on this Friday edition of Running Point. Stick around, more to come.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring. And, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer goes the extra mile to bring you the largest selection of vehicles at one convenient location. With guaranteed credit approval, I will find you the right vehicle and the right financing options for you. I am ready to go the extra mile to show you why no other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. And when you go over there, make sure, when you put pen to paper, make sure that Leetonia grad Tracy Bryden takes good care of you, all right? Because, I know the family, I don't know if that's going to get you in any kind of a better deal, but I'm just saying. I know the family. Tracy's good people. So is everyone else over at Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. Made mention the Indians option third base / outfielder Nolan Jones, as well as pitchers Carlos Mejia, Carlos Vargas, and Scott Moss. They have all been optioned out. They will in all likelihood, I should say, start the season in AAA Columbus. Terry Francona this morning made the announcement that the Indians have sent utility infielder Mike Freeman to the Cincinnati Reds. So it looks more and more like Yu Chang is going to be the guy that's going to play the role of Mike Freeman. It's looking more and more like Yu Chang is going to be making this team. So we'll see what happens there. And as I said to Tony, Nolan Jones is probably not going to be the third baseman for the Cleveland Indians. Jose Ramirez is there. And contrary to popular belief, although if the Indians really wanted to rebuild, they could trade away Jose Ramirez and get a ridiculous amount back, given the fact that his contract is so team friendly in terms of the payroll. And that's probably the reason why Ramirez is still with the Indians, because the contract that he has, which, by the way, expires in 3 years, this year, next year, and the following year, and then he becomes a free agent. His contract is very team friendly. He signed it, about 6 years ago. He signed a long-term deal. So it is a team-friendly deal, and that's probably the reason why the Indians have kept Jose Ramirez. So Ramirez isn't going away anytime soon. He's probably going to be an Indian for the next 3 years. So if I'm the Indians, and I'm sure that they're going to do this, they're going to have Nolan Jones spend some time. The rest of training camp, they're going to probably have him as an outfielder. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Nolan Jones' bat is Major League ready. He is ready to go offensively. This guy is special. Left-handed batter. He can hit left-handed pitching, and he's got some pop in his bat. Now, he's not Bobby Bradley pop. Hardly anyone is. But this kid has some pop in his bat. More importantly, he'll hit for an average. But he doesn't have a home. He just doesn't have a home. So if I'm the Indians, I'm getting an outfielder's glove ready for Nolan Jones, and I'm saying, hey, kid, go out and shag some fly balls in right field, because he's got a cannon for an arm, and you might as well use that. And let's be honest, the Indians' outfield is borderline terrible. It's been a sore spot for a number of years. And if you can get Nolan Jones to convert to being a right fielder, and he plays the position acceptably well, with that strong arm, he'll start gunning a lot of people down, trying to go from first to third on a base hit to right field, or gun people down, trying to go to second base on a double down the right field line. He's got that kind of an arm. So I would have Nolan Jones in right field and say, hey, kid, have at it. That's your home, because you're not going to be a third baseman with this team. Not the way Jose Ramirez's contract is. Jose is going to stay at third base. So Nolan Jones, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be a corner outfielder with the Indians, and preferably in right field, because he has that cannon for an arm. He can go from third to first. That ball is a frozen rope across the diamond. That kid can play outfield and probably be a right fielder with that arm of his. So Nolan Jones sent back to the minor leagues. The one position that I'm going to be really curious about, and this has some tentacles on it, and that's what to do with Bobby Bradley. Bobby Bradley has options left. And a couple of people have asked me on my social media, what are the Indians going to do? Bobby Bradley's hitting the ball pretty well. He's got 6 hits this spring, 4 doubles, 2 home runs. He's hitting the ball relatively well. So what do you do with Bobby Bradley? He's trying to win the first base job. He and Jake Bauers are the two guys that are battling it out for the first base job. The problem is Jake Bauers has no options left, none. And let's first get back to the old teaching of options. One option equals 1 year. So you can send a person up and down as often as you want to. One option equals 1 year. Everyone has 3 options. So you're able to send a person up and down as often as you want to for the course of 3 years. Jake Bauers has already taken out his 3 options. He has been in the game long enough to where he has no more options left. So if Jake Bauers is able to play acceptable baseball at first base, and the Indians believe that he can be an all right player, Bobby Bradley will not start the season with the Indians, at least as the first baseman. Now, here's where it gets a little juicy. Here's where things could get a little interesting. Bobby Bradley may still wind up being on this roster. How? Well, Franmil Reyes, a lot of people want him to be the designated hitter. Franmil Reyes is a guy that can play right field, and he's not as bad defensively as everyone would tell you. He isn't. He is not that bad of a defensive player in right field. Now, he's not a Gold Glover. He's simply not a Gold Glover. But he can do an acceptable job in right field, and his arm isn't bad. I mean, it's not Nolan Jones strong, but it's not bad. He can play right field. It's not a premium type of defender, but he can play right field and not completely embarrass you. And if that's the direction the Indians want to go, Bobby Bradley makes this team. Bradley can be the designated hitter. Keep in mind, Bobby Bradley's left-handed. So when the Indians are facing a tough left-handed pitcher this year, Franmil Reyes can be the designated hitter, and Naylor can be the right fielder. And then you sit Bobby Bradley down. Because Bradley right now, he's still not hitting left-handers very well, but you can't deny the guy's power. Oh, my God, does he have power. And he worked out really well. I will tell you that he worked out with a friend of mine who from back in minor league baseball, Ryan Terrio, former big leaguer, has a really cool academy down in Baton Rouge. Terrio played his college ball at LSU. Like I said, he's a 10-plus year veteran of Major League Baseball, and he worked Bobby Bradley out this offseason. Bobby Bradley came into camp looking spectacular, and he's playing pretty damn well this spring. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. If the Indians believe Bauers has the potential to be a solid first baseman, he'll make the team, and then we'll see what the Indians decide to do. Bobby Bradley does have one or two options left. So it's not like Bobby Bradley has to be a major league player. That's Jake Bauers. If Bauers doesn't make the Indians can't send him back to the minor leagues without exposing him first to waivers. And then the other 29 teams would have a shot at claiming Jake Bauers, and in order to claim him, you'd have to put him on the 40-man roster. And if no one claims him, well, then the Indians can take him off the 40-man roster and send him back to the minor leagues and go from there. I'll be curious to see what happens. I think that I think that Bauers is going to wind up being the first baseman, but Bobby Bradley right now is making it very, very difficult on the Indians. And that's good. That's a good thing. By the way, Mandy Bell in a kind of hilarious tweet, not so breaking news. Tito, this morning saying that Shane Bieber is your opening day starter. Yeah. In other news, this morning the sun rose from the east. Yeah, that's not that's not big news. It's kind of expected there. Kind of expected. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Congratulations to the McDonald girls basketball team. They're in the state championship game. They blew out Waterford yesterday, 57-29. McDonald 24-2 on the campaign. They will take on Fort Laramie. Fort Laramie is 28-1. They polished off Convoy Crestview in the state semifinals, 66-24. Fort Laramie is they're good. They have a lot of tall girls. I think that like 4 or 5 kids, 5'10" or higher. This is the complete opposite of Waterford. We had Tony Mattizi on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, when Anthony was here, and we asked him about the matchup, and Coach Mattizi talked about how big of a matchup problem this could be for Waterford, because McDonald was bigger, the guards were bigger, and it looked like McDonald had the advantage. And sure enough, they did. I mean, they were leading the game 27-11 at halftime, 49-17 at the end of the third quarter. I mean, McDonald was head and shoulders better than Waterford yesterday. And there is no debate who the two best teams in the state of Ohio are in Division IV girls high school basketball. It's McDonald and Fort Laramie. And we'll see who wins this game. Look, Fort Laramie is the real deal. They're exceptional. And much like JFK tonight against Richmond Heights, they are also playing the real deal, a very exceptional basketball team. But both teams are more than capable of losing. Richmond Heights and Fort Laramie are more than capable of losing a basketball game. Now, for JFK to beat Richmond Heights tonight, you cannot run with this team. Don't even try it. Don't even try. You're gonna fail, and you'll fail miserably. Don't even try it. You got to beat this team with a half-court offense. You got to beat this team by slowing them down. And you got to beat this team by playing every square inch of that basketball floor, from baseline to baseline, end line to end line. Every square inch of that basketball floor has to be defended. They have got to play solid defense. If Richmond Heights scores more than 55 points, it might not go JFK's way tonight. JFK cannot get into a scoring duel with Richmond Heights. That's a losing proposition. You are going to have to play lockdown defense, and you're going to have to be half-court, patient, ball movement, one extra pass, get the open shot. And this is where the basketball gods, small g, come into play. You got to hope and pray you're on that night. And we mentioned this early on in the show today. Struthers and Cheney last night, especially Cheney. The basketball gods are fickle. I mean to tell you, the basketball gods are fickle. You can be blazing hot for a quarter and a half, and then all of a sudden, here comes the iceberg, and you get cooled off real quick, and then you're ice cold from the field. And unfortunately, the basketball gods were not shining on Cheney after the first quarter last night. Now, you give a lot of credit to Gilmore Academy, because they laid down a box and one and a triangle and two defense, and they stymied anything that the Cheney guards tried to do. They tried to penetrate to the basket, and they couldn't do it. And you tip your hat to Gilmore Academy for playing that good of a defense. They held Cheney to 52 points. And rule of thumb in high school basketball, if you can hold your opponent to under 55, you have a better than average chance at winning a high school basketball game. You hold your opponent to under 45, you better damn well win that basketball game. Otherwise, your offense let you down. Plain and simple. Gilmore held Cheney to 52 points. And Gilmore scored 54 points in the final 3 quarters because Cheney played some serious lockdown defense in the first quarter. They had a 15-5 lead at the end of the first quarter, and then Gilmore made some adjustments. They made the adjustments that they needed to make, and Cheney just, they couldn't hit their shots. Basketball gods are fickle. And that's, it's a small part of tournament basketball, but it's a small part, but it's also a big part, and that's the luck. Now, I'm not saying that you luck yourself into a state tournament. Hell no. That's no. A small part of it is, but no. I mean, it's if you're the real deal, the cream rises to the top. Unless, of course, you have an off shooting night. And unfortunately for Cheney, they had an off shooting night. They after the first quarter, they couldn't consistently put the ball in the basket. And they only scored 37 points the rest of the night. And that's lockdown defense. I mean, when you think about it, Cheney scored an average of 12 points, a little over 12 points a quarter. Put that over a 4-quarter period, that's 48 points. That's a pretty damn good defense. That's some pretty damn good defense. Now, Gilmore Academy, they scored 54 points over the final 3 quarters. That's 18 points a quarter. That's 72 points during the course of a game. That's not good defense. But one of the reasons why Gilmore Academy was able to score some points, they took advantage of turnovers, got easy baskets. And they took advantage of turnovers because, well, the box in 1, the triangle in 2, it frustrated the hell out of Cheney. You tip your cap to the coaching staff at Gilmore Academy. That was a fantastic job by Gilmore Academy of adjusting on the fly. And a lot of things go into that victory, but, you know, unfortunately, the basketball gods, small g, were quite fickle. And Cheney couldn't hit their shots. And shit happens. You know? You tip your hat to Gilmore Academy. And in Cheney's case, yes, you lose 3 really, really good players in Cam Lawrence and Sherrod Taylor and Quincy Jones. But, oh, dear God, the talent that they have coming up. The juniors and sophomores, which will be seniors and juniors next year, Cheney will be back. They'll be back. And we'll see how far the tournament trail goes for them next year. And the same thing with Struthers. Look, they lose 7 seniors, but they got a solid team. They're developing a solid program in Struthers. And Coach Wernicke, he'll have his team playing solid ball. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to go 25 and all. I mean, that's magic. That's a magical season. I mean, you go 25 and 0 and you go into the district tournament, man, that's a magical, magical carpet ride right there. And unfortunately for Struthers, you ran into arguably the best basketball team in the state of Ohio. And you went off to a slow start in the first quarter, something that Struthers had made a habit of during the course of the season. And you can't start off slow against a premium program like St. V's. They're not going to let you get back into the game. They'll suffocate you. And that's exactly what St. V's did. I mean, they just put the screws to Struthers real quick. They locked down some serious defense and got some transitional baskets. And before you knew it, it was 50-13 at intermission. What do? I mean, again, this might be the best basketball team in the state of Ohio. You just tip your hat and say, well played. They'll cut the nets down next week as state champs. I mean, I honestly believe that. I think they're going to destroy Gilmore Academy on Saturday. I will be stunned if Gilmore Academy is within 20 points of this team. I'll be stunned. Just St. V's is that good. They just are. They're that good. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. We'll take a timeout, be back with more. It is a Friday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
The 2021 Auto Show must go on.
Exclusively at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Save more during the Extra Mile Auto Show with employee pricing for everyone on some of our most popular models. Plus, get an additional $1,000 on the value of your trade. Schedule a test drive today to experience the 2021 lineup for yourself.
Visit GreenwoodAutoShow.com.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be in the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Right now is a great time to get more for your trade-in at Tri-State Ford and drive home in a new or pre-owned vehicle. Choose from our great selection of new Ford models or pre-owned vehicles. Plus, get the Tri-State Ford Advantage, including a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty and more. At Tri-State Ford, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade, but you don't have to purchase one of ours to sell us yours.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Ron Potesta with you. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. All right, we're going to talk about something that we normally really don't get a whole lot of time to talk about, and that is wrestling. Yes, the high school wrestling is now in the state level. The state wrestling tournament going on this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, in 3 different locations. Division I will be having their wrestling meet take place at Hilliard Darby High School in Hilliard. We have 2 kids from the area, from the YSN family, that are going to be taking part in the state wrestling tournament. From Austintown Fitch, he'll be wrestling at 138 pounds. Colin Roberts, he's a senior. What a season he has had, 47-2 on the campaign. Colin Roberts, a senior from Austintown Fitch, he has a damn good chance at getting a high place in the 138-pound class. In the 285-pound class, Jake Powell from Boardman, he is a senior. Jake Powell has a record of 47-3 this year. Jake Powell is going to be wrestling out of the 285-pound class, and he is from Boardman. Those are the 2 kids that will be wrestling from our YSN family in Division I. And again, the state wrestling tournament in Division I will be held at Hilliard Darby High School in Hilliard, Ohio, Saturday and Sunday. Division II will be at Marengo Highland High School. And we do have a number of kids that are going to be taking part in the state tournament. At 106 pounds, Ty Stricco, he is a sophomore from Canfield, has a record of 19-6 this year. Now, unfortunately, he has a tough draw. He will be taking on a freshman in Barrick Jordan, but this kid's record is 32-1. So he's a freshman, but he's pretty good. He's actually really good. Ty Stricco is 106 pounds, the sophomore from Canfield. At 145, Jacob Cottle, the senior from Poland High School. Jacob is 37-3, and he will be wrestling at 145. We wish him the best of luck. 160, Eric Williams. He is a sophomore from East Liverpool. 28-4 on the campaign. Best of luck to Eric Williams, the sophomore from East Liverpool. His teammate, Howard Williams, will be wrestling at 170. Howard Williams is a senior at East Liverpool, 26-4 with the Potters this year. Also at 170 pounds from the area, Caden Hart. He is a senior from the Salem wrestling program, Salem High School. Caden Hart this year, 35-3. He is wrestling in the state tournament at 170 pounds as well. 195, Dylan Smith, a senior out of Poland, 30 wins, 8 losses, 195 pounds. Dylan Smith, a senior year at Poland, will be wrestling in the Division II state wrestling meets. 220 pounds, Kenny Mara. He is a senior at West Branch. Very impressive record, 35 wins, 2 losses. 285 pounds. Gage Gibson, he is a junior at Howland. Gage's record this year, 20-4. So congratulations to these wrestlers. By the way, a side note, Nick Bowser is a freshman. He qualified for the state tournament at 285 pounds. Unfortunately, he is not able to participate. Nick Bowser suffered an injury, but the good news for Nick, he has 3 more 3 more years to be in the state tournament. And hopefully Nick will be able to do that in the following 3 years to come. His sophomore, junior, and senior years will hopefully be really, really solid years for Nick Bowser. Again, he was qualified for the state tournament as a freshman. Unfortunately, he's not able to participate because of an injury. The D2 kids will be going to Marengo Highland High School, and congratulations on the amazing job by all of these kids in D1 and D2, as well as D3, who we're going to talk about right now because we got a plethora of kids in Division 3. D3 wrestling tournament will be held at Marion Harding High School. All right, at 106 pounds, Hunter Knoll, he is a sophomore at South Range. 34-11 on the campaign. Hunter Knoll, just a sophomore, wrestling at 106 pounds. At 113 from Chalker High School, Landon Duncan. Duncan's record 16-6. Landon Duncan, he is a sophomore at Chalker. He'll be wrestling at 113. Raymond Seamill Jr. Let's try that again. Raymond Seamill. He is wrestling at 120 pounds. He is a junior out of South Range. Every time I see junior next to the name, I'm like, oh, he's a junior. No. He is a junior, not name junior, grade junior, Ron. So Ray Seamel from South Range, wrestling out of 120 pounds. He is a junior at South Range. Impressive record. 42-2 on the campaign. Ray's teammate from South Range, Michael Marcolin, excuse me. Damn, I need these eyes fixed. Michael Marcolin, 126 pounds. He is a junior at South Range. 41-5. He will be wrestling at the 126-pound limit. At 138, A.J. Coppersmith. He is a sophomore from Crestview. Good record, 33-6 on the campaign. He will be wrestling at 138 pounds. 138, A.J. Coppersmith, sophomore from Crestview. At 145 pounds, Hunter Andel. He's a sophomore at Garrettsville Garfield, 31-2 on the campaign. At $152, his teammate, Keegan Sell. Keegan's just a freshman, wrestling for the G-Men program. And again, I'll say it again, Garrettsville Garfield comes to the MVAC gray tier next year. And I mean to tell you, Garrettsville Garfield is going to be a really, really good addition to all sports, to the Mahoning Valley Athletic Conference gray tier. Keegan Sell, a freshman out of Garrettsville Garfield, 29-2. He'll be wrestling in the 152 weight class. Wrestling in the 160-pound weight class, Jacob Starkey. He's a sophomore out of South Range. 38-8 is his record. His teammate Logan Cormell will be wrestling in the 170-pound class. Logan's a junior at South Range, where he has put together a 41-7 campaign. He'll be wrestling in the 170 weight class. Also wrestling in the 170-pound weight class will be Tyler Bean. Tyler Bean wrestles out of Pie Valley. He's a senior. 27-8 is his record. Wrestling out of 220-pound class, Chase Cottrell, a senior from Grand Valley. 30 wins, 3 losses. He'll be wrestling in the 220-pound class. Wrestling in the 285-pound limit, Victor Verba, a senior out of Pie Valley, 21-2 on the campaign. And also wrestling out of the 285-pound class, he is a senior from Western Reserve, Seth Phillips. Seth Phillips will be wrestling out of the 285-pound weight limit. He is from Western Reserve. Seth's record this year, 37-3. So congratulations to all of these wrestlers. Again, the state wrestling tournament Saturday and Sunday, tomorrow and Sunday. Again, Division I, their tournament will be held at Hilliard Darby High School in Hilliard, Ohio. Division II will be held at Marengo Highland High School And Division III, their tournament will be held at Marion Harding High School. So congratulations to the young gentlemen that I just mentioned. All of these kids will be wrestling this weekend in hopes of winning a state championship in their chosen weight class. So there you go. A lot of representation in the Mahoning Valley. And again, we have 2 teams left in the Mahoning Valley for basketball, 1 boys team, 1 girls team. 1 boys team that's left, Warren JFK, they play a regional championship game. They are one of the 8 best teams in the state of Ohio. Warren JFK will play Richmond Heights tonight. Fingers crossed. And again, Richmond Heights is a cut above, but they're beatable. They are beatable. You're just going to have to play a whale of a game. And you're going to have to defend every square inch of that basketball floor from baseline to baseline, end line to end line. You're going to have to fend it all and hopefully slow this team down. But JFK has a shot. They have a shot. They have a chance. The McDonald girls will be playing for a state championship tomorrow morning at 10:45. Fort Loramie is the opponent. And I'm here to tell you, like Richmond Heights, Fort Loramie is a cut above, but they are beatable. They are beatable. They have been beaten this year, so they are beatable. And even if they haven't been beaten, they are beatable. No team is perfect. Even though they may have an undefeated record, no team is perfect. McDonald, they have their work cut out for them. This is not a team that is going to be at a height disadvantage. Fort Loramie has 5 kids, 5'10", and bigger. It is going to be a very difficult assignment for McDonald, but it's a doable assignment. And we'll see what McDonald can do. McDonald polished off Waterford 57-29 yesterday. They jumped on Waterford early, and they did not stop. 28-point victory. Fort Laramie, the same thing. They jumped on Convoy Crestview. They didn't stop. They got a 42-point win. They mercy rolled Convoy Crestview. And you don't see mercy rolls that often in the state semifinals. You did yesterday morning with Fort Loramie defeating Convoy Crestview. So McDonald has their work cut out for them. But again, it's a doable game. McDonald's going to have to play a solid, fundamentally solid game. And that's where I think they have a legitimate chance, because Tony Mattiese has done a whale of a job with these kids. He has done a whale of a job with these kids, and I firmly believe that this team fundamentally is good enough to pull off the upset. They are more than skilled enough to pull off the upset, but you're going to have to be able to box out. You're going to have to be able to rebound. Again, 5 kids on this Fort Loramie team, 5'10" or taller. They're going to have a height advantage. And with a height advantage comes the possibility of cleaning up on the boards. And you got to limit great teams like Fort Loramie and Richmond Heights. I'll throw them in there as well, because that's JFK's opponent tonight. These great teams, fundamentally speaking, you got to box them out. You got to box them out, grab the defensive rebound, limit their possessions to 1. 1 possession. You get offensive rebounds, or give up offensive rebounds, I should say. That's when the trouble starts brewing. Because if you give a team like Fort Loramie or Richmond Heights multiple opportunities to score, they're going to do it. They're that good. I mean, they're just going to do it. Part of the success, or the formula for success, is you must box out, you must rebound, and you must limit these 2 teams to 1 shot per possession. They cannot get a lot of offensive rebounds. You cannot allow it. Simply put, you cannot allow a lot of multiple possessions and multiple shots in a possession. You just can't allow it. And hopefully, fingers crossed, the McDonald girls team and the JFK boys team will get the job done. Fingers crossed that they're able to take care of business. And if they are, then I think that there's no question that JFK and McDonald can both win. JFK, if they win, they will become the first team since LeBray, back when Peyton Aldridge, I believe he was a junior, if I'm not mistaken. They would be the first team to go to Columbus, or Dayton in this case. They would be the first team to go to a state semifinal since Peyton Aldridge and the LeBray Vikings went to the state tournament, I want to say 10 or 11 years ago. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen a boys basketball team travel to Columbus. But JFK is one win away. If they can upset Richmond Heights tonight, then they can most definitely make the trip to Dayton and take part in the Final Four, which would be fantastic. Right now, the guys' record against out-of-town opponents is 1-5 in regional play, which it is what it is. Hopefully Hopefully our teams can get better, and we've seen some progress with basketball in the area. We've seen some progress, and like I said earlier in the show, I think the girls are a little ahead right now of the guys in terms of the progress. Not to say that the guys haven't made inroads, because they have. It just right now, the regional tournament is where the guys have stubbed their toe. The last couple of years, the regional tournament has been pretty good for the girls. Back-to-back years of 2-2, which it's a 500 record. That's 2 years in a row. The area has sent a team to the Final Four. Now, unfortunately, as everyone knows, last year we didn't get an opportunity for West Branch to play in the Final Four game, but we had a chance yesterday with McDonald, and they took advantage, and they blew out Waterford, and they get an opportunity to play a state title game tomorrow morning at 10:45 against Fort Laramie. And again, I think McDonald has a chance. I think McDonald has a shot. I think JFK has a shot tonight against Richmond Heights. But both teams are going to have to play an insanely good game of basketball. JFK and McDonald are not good. Great game of basketball. They're going to have to play a great game of basketball. JFK and Richmond Heights tonight at 7 o'clock. And this game is going to be played at Akron Firestone High School in Akron. JFK is 13-4 on the campaign. Richmond Heights is 16-4. Richmond Heights is coming off of a 40-point victory over Bristol. Again, this is not a it wasn't by luck. They're just a solid team. They beat Bristol 77-37. Richmond Heights is that good. JFK, they defeated Lucas 54-48. JFK gets Richmond Heights. If they happen to win this game, the winner of tonight's regional championship game will get the winner of the Cedarville-Botkins game in the state semifinals. And the state semifinals will be played, 1 week from today. 1 week from today at 11 a.m. 1 week from today at 11 a.m., Warren JFK and Richmond Heights. The winner of that game gets the winner of the Botkins Cedarville game. This would be the Region 16. Cedarville knocked off New Madison Tri-Village, previously undefeated, 67-56. Botkins blew out Newark Catholic 75-50. Cedarville is 24-1. Botkins is 24-3. Those are the two teams battling for a regional championship, and the winner of that game gets the winner of Warren JFK and Richmond Heights. By the way, the bottom bracket, for those interested, Columbus Grove is playing New Bremen in a regional championship game in Region 14. And Region 15, New Boston Glenwood is facing an old familiar name, Berlin Highland. The girls are in the state title game. Berlin Highland defeated Cincinnati Marion 47-40 to get to the state championship game where they will play Ottawa Glandorf. Glandorf beat the team that eliminated South Range, Apple Creek Waynedale, yesterday, 46-36. Berlin Highland girls are playing for a state championship game, tomorrow? Tonight, Berlin Highland boys are playing for an opportunity to go to the state tournament in Dayton next week. And don't sleep on Berlin Highland. They'll probably win that game. And even though they're 19-8, they may very well win the Division IV tournament. I'm just saying, that team is ridiculous. And I've said this for a long time. If you have an opportunity, and hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully we have COVID-free come basketball season. Hopefully we are COVID-free. If you have an opportunity to go into Amish country to watch Berlin Highland at the barn, you got to take advantage of it. First of all, their arena is ridiculous. It's fantastic. For a high school, for a D4 for boys, D3 for girls, it's a smaller school, relatively speaking. I mean, it's not a D1 or a D2 school. So relatively speaking, it is a smaller school in the state of Ohio. You would think that this arena is D1 caliber. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. The barn is absolutely phenomenal. And their programs, whew, you just shake your head. That's a program. That's a program. And, so many people think that high school basketball, it's all about junior high and get the kids to play basketball in 7th grade. And then they'll graduate into high school, and then they'll play 4 years in high school. Hell no. These kids got to learn how to play basketball from kindergarten. You get them involved in the game in the kindergarten, and you get this team, and you get these kids involved, and maybe you get your kids, the high school kids, to do a little camp with the kindergartners and whatnot. But you got to get those kids involved at an early age, and that's when you develop a program. When the program is developed, that's when you have basketball from kindergarten all the way through high school. And your program is able to stand on its own 2 feet. And the program is a tremendous youth basketball program, a tremendous junior high basketball program. In a perfect world, you have a freshman basketball team, a JV basketball team, and a varsity basketball team. And some D4 teams, and I think Heartland Christian might be, I don't think they're the only D4 team, but it's pretty close. Heartland Christian, and I think they can do this because they didn't have football, and I don't think they're going to get football anytime soon. Heartland Christian is able to have those kids play basketball, so they're big enough to have a freshman-only class. Now, that doesn't mean that you tell every freshman, hey, you're going to be playing freshman only. You can, if the freshman's good enough to play varsity, yeah, you can put that freshman on the varsity team. They can definitely do that. There's no two ways about that. That can happen. But in a perfect world, you want to have a freshman basketball team. And then you want to have those freshmen start playing JV ball. And if you're good enough as a sophomore to play on varsity, hey, do it. But the program, the perfect program, is an unbelievably great youth program leading to an unbelievably solid junior high program, a freshman program that stands on its own, enough sophomores and juniors to play JV ball, and enough sophomores, juniors, and seniors to play varsity ball, where you have all of these things together, and man, you're off and running. And I think that's where Heartland Christian A lot of folks looked at their basketball team this year, and a lot of folks were pleasantly surprised by that team. Let me tell you something. That's going to be the norm over at Heartland. That's going to be the norm. First and foremost, that team is incredibly well organized. Incredibly well organized. And the fact that they don't have football, this works to their advantage. Where they can now get the kids to play basketball and baseball as the two big behemoth sports. Now that you don't have football, you can have basketball and you can have baseball. They're going to get a program, and they're already starting to develop a program. That's what you saw out of Heartland this year. That's going to be the norm over at Heartland. There will not be very many years where Heartland has a bad basketball team. They're starting to develop something pretty special there. That's a solid program. And kudos to them. For a D4 team to have a freshman-only basketball team, that's kudos. Great job by Heartland Christian. And again, you expect that because they don't have a football program, so a lot of those kids are playing basketball. But that's a really good basketball program. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. At 2 o'clock, we're going to talk some hockey. Tom Callahan will be coming on the scene. We'll talk some hockey with Tom. Penguins are fighting for a playoff spot. They're looking relatively decent. Columbus, they're on the outside looking in, and I don't know if they're going to be able to garner one of those 4 spots. You got the trade deadline coming up. Teams are going to be wheeling and dealing. This is going to be interesting. I know one thing: my Sabres suck. Ugh, horrible. We'll see what they do, and this is going to be interesting to say the least. We'll have some hockey talk with Tom Callahan coming up in the 2 o'clock hour. I want to run down the D3 games that are going on tonight as well in high school basketball. We mentioned Cardinal Mooney and Springfield both losing on Tuesday. Lutheran East defeated Mooney 74-31. Springfield was defeated by Norwayne 55-49. Norwayne will face Lutheran East at 5 o'clock today. That is actually 5 o'clock tomorrow. I beg your pardon. At 5 o'clock tomorrow, they will play. The winner of that game gets the winner of Region 10. Region 10 is Ottawa-Glandorf. And by the way, if Ottawa-Glandorf sounds familiar, well, their girls' basketball team is playing for a state championship in girls' hoops in D3. And the boys are 1 win away from going to the state semifinals. Ottawa-Glandorf and Berlin-Highland are 2 programs that have both the boys and the girls in making deep runs. Ottawa-Glandorf is 19-4. Johnstown, the team that they are going to face, Johnstown is 22-5. In Region 12, Springfield-Shawnee, 18-4, will be playing Cincinnati Taft, who got a victory over Anna in overtime. Anna from that Midwest Athletic Conference. So Taft beat him in overtime. Taft 15-4, Springfield-Shawnee 18-4. And finally, in Region 11, Proctorville-Fairland defeated Beverly Fort Fry 68-45. Proctorville-Fairland is going to be facing Worthington Christian, who knocked off Wheelersburg. Worthington Christian is 26-1 on the campaign. So those are the D3 regional championship games to be played on Saturday. And we might as well throw in D1 while we're at it. D1, Medina is going to be playing Menor. Menor is coached by the former head basketball coach in Girard, Bob Krasancic. Bob has been the head basketball coach at Menor for quite a while. Menor is 24-0. Medina 18-6. Medina knocked off North Canton Hoover. That's the team that was in Boardman's region. Mentor was in the Harding region. Actually, Menor was in a separate region. I beg your pardon. They beat Massillon Jackson. That was the team that lost or that beat Harding. Menor beat them in the regional semifinals, 60-53. The winner of Medina and Menor gets the winner of Cincinnati Moeller and Centerville. Moeller is 20-4, Centerville 23-3. The other half of the bracket, St. Ignatius defeated St. Ed's 55-54. They will get Lima Senior, who beat Toledo St. John via a no contest. Toledo St. John had a COVID outbreak, so their season ended in the regional semifinals. Ignatius is 18-6, Lima Senior 20-4. The other regional championship game, Gahanna Lincoln, they are 22-2. They will be playing 20-2 Westerville Central. So there you go. Could very well wind up being Ignatius against Menor in a state championship game. That would be interesting. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be interesting in Division I. We didn't do Division II. Let me run down Division II while we're at it. We'll start with the St. V's taking on Gates Mills Gilmore Academy, and that's going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. They will go to the winner of that game, and let's be honest. Look, Gilmore Academy had a wonderful win against Cheney. You're going up against a little different animal in St. V's. We'll see what happens there. The winner of that game gets the winner of Akron Buchtel, who knocked off Toledo Central Catholic last night, and Lima Shawnee, who defeated Shelby. So Buchtel and Shawnee will play on Saturday at 2 o'clock. The other state semifinal is the winner of Bishop Watterson out of Columbus and Dayton Chaminade Julienne. Those two teams will battle for a regional championship game tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. The winner of that game gets the winner of Columbus St. Francis DeSales and Byesville Meadowbrook. DeSales defeated Chillicothe 40-37, and Byesville Meadowbrook beat Vincent Warren 52-51 in overtime. So you could be seeing Columbus DeSales and Columbus Watterson in a state semifinal matchup. And in the other semifinals, Akron St. Vincent St. Mary and Akron Buchtel. The bracket could work out that way. That could be interesting. 2 Columbus teams and 2 Akron teams. And the Columbus teams playing each other in the state semifinals. The 2 Akron teams playing each other in the state semifinals. I think that would be pretty interesting. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. We'll take a timeout, be back with more. It is a Friday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy-efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
High-res Futurecast shows steady snow for the next few hours.
Still just downright cold.
It is bitter out there.
Strong bands of lake effect snow.
Winds is kind of the big story today as well.
So if you need a more detailed winter forecast on WFMJ.com and the Storm Tracker 21 app.
Save more during the Extra Mile Auto Show with employee pricing for everyone on some of our most popular models. Plus, get an additional $1,000 on the value of your trade. Schedule a test drive today to experience the 2021 lineup for yourself.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
First and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer goes the extra mile to bring you the largest selection of vehicles at one convenient location. With guaranteed credit approval, I will find you the right vehicle and the right financing options for you. I am ready to go the extra mile to show you why no other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. You know, the city of Cleveland has had some tremendous losses in the last few days. Over the weekend, last weekend, the passing of one of the better musicians coming out of northeastern Ohio, and certainly a voice that was heard in Cleveland radio for a number of years, up in one of the rock stations up in Cleveland. Michael Stanley passed away over the weekend, and we didn't really touch on this very much. Michael Stanley was a fantastic band that he had. It really never gained the national the national vibe that he should have. He was more of a regional band. And I don't know. I never understood why the Michael Stanley Band never caught on nationally. It was an unfortunate thing. But Michael was a very talented musician, but a damn good DJ. I think he worked at 98.5 up in Cleveland as a afternoon jock. And he passed away over the weekend, which was just a huge loss to the community of Cleveland. And then, of course, we learned of the passing on Wednesday, about an hour after our show was finished, the passing of legendary Cavaliers broadcaster Joe Tate. He passed away, succumbed to cancer and kidney failure. And Joe was, Joe was the heartbeat of Cavaliers basketball. And not just that, if you're a child of the 70s like I was, you can probably get a ton of people in this room that would be telling stories about how they wanted to be Joe Tate, how they wanted to have what Joe Tate had, an opportunity to call Major League Baseball or basketball games in the NBA. And truth be told, I said it yesterday, and I'll probably say it until the day they put me 6 feet under. Joe Tate is the greatest basketball play-by-play broadcaster I have ever heard. The descriptions that Tate had was second to none. Just an incredible talent. And what made him so incredible was the fact that he could go to a high school basketball game, which he did the last few, the years after he retired from the Cavaliers. He certainly did some high school basketball games. He did a number of Mount Union games since the mid-'80s, broadcasting Mount Union football. And he treated Mount Union football games and high school basketball games the same way he treated a Cavaliers game or an Indians game. The guy was great. He simply was. And his passing, a huge, huge void, a double punch to the gut, if you will. Well, now word is coming that legendary Cleveland Indians, and he's not employed by the Indians, but if you've ever sat in the bleachers, you know who I'm talking about. The guy that bangs on the drums in the bleachers, John Adams. John Adams he's had some health problems. He had bypass surgery. He's lucky to be alive. He had triple bypass surgery where all three of the areas, one was 100% closed and the other two areas were 80% closed. And unfortunately, John Adams is having some complications from his triple bypass surgery. It has been announced today for the first time since 1973. Now think about this one. 48 years. For the first time in 48 years, John Adams isn't going to be pounding on the drum on opening day in Cleveland. Man, that's tough. Thoughts and prayers to John Adams. And again, he's not employed by the Indians per se, but you go to a game at whether it be at the old Municipal Stadium or now at Jacobs Field, Progressive Field, or however the hell you want to call it. It's Progressive Field, but a lot of people still call it Jacobs Field. He's there, and he's in the bleachers, and he's hammering the drum, and he's a big part. He's a big part of the culture in an Indians game. And unfortunately, he's not going to be available for opening day for the first time in 48 years. John Adams has some complications from his triple bypass surgery, and our fingers are crossed. I mean, the city of Cleveland has already suffered enough. Thank you very much with the passing of two absolute legends in that city. The passing of Michael Stanley over the weekend, and in my mind, a much bigger legend, even though both of the guys are legendary, but in my mind, an even bigger legend in the passing of Joe Tate on Wednesday. But tremendous loss from both Michael Stanley and Joe Tate. And Lord knows the city of Cleveland can't take another gut punch. And again, John Adams, he's not doing too good. He's got some heart issues. They underwent triple bypass surgery, and now he has some complications from the bypass surgery. And hopefully he'll survive this, and hopefully at some point this baseball season we'll be able to hear John Adams back at Progressive Field banging the bass drum as he has done for countless number of years, whether it be at the old stadium or now Progressive Field in Cleveland. He's been a mainstay ever since I was a fan of the Indians. He's been a mainstay of Indians baseball, and even when you're not at the game, you can still hear John doing his thing. So hopefully John Adams will be okay. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Speaking of the Indians, looks like they have settled on their shortstop, Andres Jimenez. Andres Jimenez looks like he has won the starting shortstop job. Ahmed Rosario is going to start taking fly balls in center field. Now, that's not the only position that he's going to learn. Apparently, Terry Francona is hoping to get him to be an outfield and infield super utility guy, where Rosario can play third base. He can also play shortstop. He can also play second base. So he's got the infield pretty much covered with the exception of first base. And then again, if you can teach him how to play center field And look, if you can play center field, you can play the corner positions as well. If Rosario can do that, then he's a super utility guy. And we already made mention that the Indians this morning, they traded away one of their veteran players. They traded away Freeman, the utility guy of the last couple of years, to the Cincinnati Reds. And that just tells me that Yu Chang has pretty much won the job as the utility guy for the Indians. And Yu Chang is having a really good spring. He's having a really good spring for the Indians. So it appears to me that Chang is going to be the guy that's going to be the utility guy in the infield. And then Rosario, if everything works out well, is also going to be a utility guy in the infield, but he can also be a utility guy in the outfield. And you can expect Rosario to be the jack of all trades type of guy, where hopefully he'll be able to play 6 of the 9 positions on the baseball field. And the other Rosario, who the Indians acquired from Minnesota, he's going to be the starting left fielder. It looks like Mercado is going to be the starting center fielder, and then right field is up in the air. And we made mention of this. Bobby Bradley may have hit himself on this roster. And if that's the case, you could seriously put Friendmill Reyes out in right field. When right-handers are on the mound, you could put Friendmill Reyes out in right field. Bowers can be your starting first baseman, and then you have Bobby Bradley as the designated hitter. You can do that. There are going to be times, again, if Bradley makes the team, there are going to be times where Bobby Bradley plays first base. There are going to be times where he is the designated hitter. But there's no guarantee that Bobby Bradley makes this team. We made mention of this. Jake Bowers has no options left. So the only way the Indians can keep Jake Bowers is if he doesn't make the team, they have to expose him to waivers. And then if nobody picks him up, well, then they can send Bowers back to AAA ball and Bobby Bradley wins the job. I don't know if the Indians are going to be willing to do that. And the fact that Bradley has an option or 2 left, they may just let Bobby Bradley start playing in Columbus and start the season with Bowers as the starting first baseman. And I don't know how big of a rope he would have, but there's the chance of that happening. And it wouldn't surprise me if Bobby Bradley is sent back to AAA ball, not because he's not good enough, but because he has options left and Bowers doesn't. And it all depends on whether or not the Indians still have a firm belief in Jake Bowers. If they do, then Bowers is going to be on this team. If they don't, then they'll have Bradley as the starting first baseman, and they'll try to sneak Bowers through the waivers. But Bradley's making this difficult, which is a good thing. He's making the decision for the Indians very, very difficult, and that is a fantastic thing to see. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to talk hockey with Tom Callahan. That's coming up in a bit. Stick around.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit WRSWealthAdvisors.com. Good luck, athletes!
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Bad credit, no problem. I can get you approved for a low-interest loan and maybe even a low-payment lease on a new car at the #1 Chevy dealership in Trumbull County for 3 years in a row. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved or come see me, Tony Page, to get a new vehicle today. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austin Town. We haven't talked hockey in quite a while. That means we got to get on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline, and let's bring on board our hockey guru, Mr. Tom Callahan, who joins us from the desert. What's going on, brother?
Well, not a whole lot yet. Everything all at once, Ron. It's been really interesting lately, especially around here. It's, the NHL season is providing us with plenty of surprises and some interesting things going on. And, it's fun. It's a fun time to be a hockey fan. And I'll be honest with you, unless you're a fan of, I'm sure, one or two of the teams we're going to talk about here this afternoon, well,
yeah, it's let me just first and foremost say my Sabres suck, and there's no two ways to put it. It's a terrible situation. I have no idea how Kruger is still employed by this organization, and I will state this further. I love Terry and Kim Pegula to death. I think what they have done, especially buying the Bills and saving Buffalo from being a team that did not have the National Football League, the Bills could have very easily left, and they bought the team and told everyone they were going to keep the Bills in Buffalo. But I will say this. As much as I love Terry and Kim Pegula, their ownership is a lot to be desired. And I will state further that had they not lucked themselves into Mr. Bean and Mr. McDermott, they would still be chasing their tail and trying to figure out how to turn the Bills program around. They're still chasing their tail because they have not lucked themselves into a general manager or a head coach worth a hill of beans, and that's why the franchise has sucked.
Well, and Ron, I mean, it's kind of interesting the way they're going about, and you're right, I believe the Bills kind of are going to succeed despite themselves, if you will. It's kind of funny and, kind of sad, I guess, if you're a Buffalo sport, and I grew up in the area, so I keep an eye on it, but they hired a GM on purpose in Buffalo who was going to be someone who executed their plans, and I don't think you can do that. Then they brought in a coach who knows more about hockey than anyone else on that staff, and I don't think they're really listening to him when it comes to player personnel either. And, you bring in Taylor Hall, you hope he makes a splash, and he hasn't done anything, and it's disappointing. The team's going downhill. They need to sell off big time. Haven't helped them if they try to resign Hall. I really hope they don't.
All right, let's get to the two local teams for us. Pittsburgh Penguins, they're 26 games into the season. They beat the Sabres last night in Buffalo 5-2. They have 33 points. They're in third place. They're 4 points clear of Philadelphia, though Philadelphia has 2 less games played, so that's not necessarily a large number. Pittsburgh is fighting for a playoff spot. Trade deadline is coming up very shortly. Where do you see the Penguins trying to improve on their team? Tom, are you there? Oh, boy. Okay, Tom.
All right, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right, there you go.
Sorry about that. Don't know what happened.
That's all right.
So, it's one of those things. I have to admit I was wrong on the Penguins, which is not always the easiest thing for me to do, but I was wrong on the Penguins. And actually, I don't know that I was so much wrong on the Penguins as, holy cow, what a change since Ron Hextall and Brian Burke have come in. Pittsburgh looks so different now, and they're a team that just, really has picked it up. And I don't know. I guess maybe things had gotten stale. That's not something that I would have initially thought to speculate for the Penguins, is that all it took was, that kind of change up top. I thought maybe they had to rearrange some chairs. I think they're okay. I really like their goaltending, and I think they got off to a little slow start there, but I like Jari a lot. I think he's a very good netminder and will be their number one in seasons to come. They are at the end of this window where, Crosby's older, Malkin's older, Letang's older, and these guys are declining trade value. So if you're going to move any of them, I think Crosby is the only untouchable for me. I think if somebody came along and made me a stout offer for a Malkin, or especially a Letang, I'd listen. But really, at this point, I don't know that that's where the Penguins want to look. I feel like the guy they miss is Patrick Hornqvist. I think a jam-type player up front, a forward like that with a nose for the net, who will stick his nose in the tough areas. They need that, a little bit more of that. I also think they could probably benefit from a little more solid veteran defenseman who's more durable than Letang. I don't think offense is going to be a problem for this team, really. I think they're good there. I think they need it in the grit, the physical play, and defense to really shore those up. But those are mid-tier moves. They don't need anything major, and they look good right now.
Well, the Penguins right now in third place in the Eastern Division. And again, the top 4 teams will go to the playoffs. 1 will play 4, 2 will play 3. And then the winners of those 2 series will play each other for the Eastern Division Championship. And then the Eastern Division Championship will represent the East and go to the semifinals, and that's when the fun begins. Okay, so the Penguins in pretty decent shape. You look in the other area team that we have regionally, and that would be the Columbus Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets lost in overtime to Florida last night, 5-4. They got a point, but they really needed 2 points. The Blue Jackets are they're still a ways away behind Chicago for that 4th and final spot. Does Columbus roll the dice and try to make some moves to push themselves to that final spot, or do they just sell off some assets and live to fight another day?
Columbus is a tough case because, number one, they blew that game last night. They were up 4-1 and just tanked it away. I mean, they look bad. And John Tortorella's in the last year of his contract as head coach. So first and foremost, Jarmo Kekalainen, who's given him a pretty good vote of confidence, Tortorella, has to make a decision. Is he your guy for the next couple of years? Do you build a team based around his style of everybody needs to come in, work hard, put their nose to the grindstone, or do you anticipate a change? If I'm Columbus, I mean, they made a move they had to make in trading Pierre-Luc Dubois. They picked up some decent pieces. I like Patrick Laine a lot. I wish he was fitting in better. Jack Roslovic is obviously very happy to come home to Columbus. But Roslovic is the only guy I think stays. I honestly think Laine is gone after this year, so maybe they look at trading him before the deadline to get some value for him. They don't look like a playoff team to me, Ron. And as you mentioned, they're falling further behind Chicago. I just feel like maybe finally Tortorella's message is worn thin on that team, and I think that perhaps we're just kind of seeing the beginning of the end for that run in Columbus. I have a hard time seeing how they make the playoffs at this point. I think you try to get value for Line A and kind of go from there.
All right, now I got to ask, because, again, this will go all the way back to Buffalo. Is that the kind of guy that you would want to the Sabres to bring in? A guy that's just gonna flip the organization on its ear and say, listen, this is how we're going to do things, and actually have a guy that's going to challenge Eichel and challenge the rest of these young kids to meet some standards?
I worry about a player like Laine, who has had a little bit of a history, and I don't think he's a bad kid, but I think he's a kid. He's still figuring it out. He's still maturing. Buffalo needs leadership. Buffalo needs, some veteran leaders on that team to show them how to. Jack Eichel being the captain, I mean, I love him. He's a fantastic hockey player, but he's too young to be a captain. And I'm a big proponent of you need an older veteran player to be a captain and lead and show younger players how to grow. When you're 22, you haven't been through enough in the NHL to be a captain, especially on a team like Buffalo. So I don't think Laine has any value to the Sabres. I don't think Taylor Hall has any value to the Sabres. I think it's all wasted money to them. I don't think Jeff Skinner has any value to the Sabres. That is all wasted money right now. They need to build a veteran leadership core with that team. You look at a lot of teams that are doing well, and Ron, the Penguins are a perfect example. Sidney Crosby has grown into being a leader and a captain on that team, and they have an older leadership core, and that's why they're doing so well. And a lot of other teams, in Vegas is a great example in the West. I know they're kind of the new sexy team, but they have a great captain in Mark Stone, and they've got Max Pacioretty around him, who's also worn a letter. And I mean, they added Alex Pietrangelo, and that's a team that has a core together that can show everybody else in that team how to win. Buffalo doesn't have that. Laine won't help that. That's the real problem. It's not scoring goals. It's not keeping them out, although they could use a goalie. That's it for me. They need to rebuild that team.
Well, the goalie that they had, and I called him Linus, but I know it's not. That's not his name. But the security blanket was his stick. He actually was doing really, really well, and then he suffered a serious injury, and he's out for a month. And the goaltending has gone to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, Allmark is a guy too that I like him, but he needs more time to develop. And again, Buffalo is a team too that I think has kind of rushed guys because they're trying to win, and they haven't. 9 seasons, they haven't been to the playoffs. It's going to be another one. So that's tough. That's tough to get around. And for the Sabres, and Columbus is going to come into this too. Like, Columbus has to figure out its direction. Buffalo has to figure out its direction. Some of the losing teams out there have already figured out their direction. Like Detroit knows how they're going to rebuild. And they're urging patience with their fan base, and they have a direction. But it's the teams that don't have a direction that worry me, or that are going to have to change direction here. I think, Ron, we're going to see a lot of movement coming up sooner than later on this trade deadline, because don't forget, right now it's 2 weeks, and teams are lobbying to try to get it down to 1 week, but a quarantine period. So even though the trade deadline's a month away, if you trade for a guy at the deadline, you don't get him for another 2 weeks if they don't change that period. I think teams are going to start making moves earlier. We're going to see a lot of things picking up here end of March, early April. I don't know. If I was Columbus, I go into sell mode and try to rebuild it.
Tom Callahan, our hockey guru, joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline with the announcement earlier in the week by President Biden saying that every adult or every American should be able to get their hands on the vaccine. How is this playing out in hockey? How is this going to be playing out in terms of fans coming back into the arenas and the players going to be able to be able to play the game without the fear of getting corona?
Man, that's a tough one, and it varies state by state. As you mentioned earlier, I live in Arizona right now, and the rollout here has been really slow, and they're just getting through phase 1B. And there are other states that are far beyond that. And because it's been a state-by-state rollout, there's no real central way to do it. Everybody's at a different place. So until we uniformly, and I know Joe Biden said, 4th of July, it'd be nice to be able to have a cookout with your friends, that type of thing, and if we do everything right, if everything goes right, boy, that'd be fantastic. But at this point, and the NHL just kind of put out a statement on this the other day, they want to start next year on time, full season, all that stuff. So I think, Ron, we're really looking towards the fall before we're going to get it back to normal. We are seeing state by state 10%, 15%, 20% of capacity, depending on where teams are, if they're allowing fans. Not everyone is. But to get back to opening a building, I think we're going to have to get, vaccines into 80% or more by the summer, and hopefully we do. I mean, hopefully you and I are talking about training camp in September of this year, and everything is just, full blast.
All right, now before we get into the talk of what's going on financially with the NHL, I want to get into the playoff conversation because the playoffs are real simple. Each division, the East, the Central, the West, and the North, the top 4 finishers will go to the playoffs. 1 will play 4, 2 will play 3, best of 7 series. The winners of those 2 series will face off for the division crown in a best of 7. Once the division teams are announced, how does this work? Does the North Division automatically play the West, or let's say Toronto, who is by far and away the best team in the North, let's say they win the North Division, and let's say that let's say that Tampa Bay wins the Central, and St. Louis wins the West. Would it be geographically friendly to put Toronto against the Eastern Division winner and have Tampa and St. Louis meet in the other best of 7?
So for the first time ever, Ron, so as you said, the division you've got to play your way out of. So whatever division you're in, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, and then you play till you have 1 team left. After that, we have 4 teams left, 1 for each division, and they just reseed regardless of geography. So you could have Vegas playing Boston in that first round, or for the Cup final. You could have teams, Ron, that are typically in the same division because of this realignment, actually meeting in the Stanley Cup final, which to me is wild. But you could have some crazy interesting matchups for a Stanley Cup because, Toronto could play Boston for the Stanley Cup if it came down to that, which is amazing to think about. You could have, Tampa Bay, Vegas, you might see in a normal year, but because of the COVID-19 protocols and everything that's going on, it could be Edmonton and Vegas, 2 normally Western Conference teams playing for the title. It's going to be an unusual year. I kind of hope something like that does happen. I'd love to see something that off the wall, but nope, it's going to be geography be damned. They're just going to reseed 1 through 4. 1 plays the 4, 2 plays the 3, and then the last 2 teams standing meet for the Stanley Cup.
Okay, now obviously Canada and the United States still haven't opened each other's borders yet because of COVID. So how does this work if obviously we will have a Canadian team in the Final 4, so how is this going to work?
That is the $6 million question, and I'm glad you brought it up. As I mentioned earlier, teams right now are lobbying for a 1-week quarantine period between USA and Canada for this trade deadline that's coming up. I think what's going to happen, or what I would anticipate happening, is they're going to bring that Canadian team to the States for the last 2 rounds. Whoever the team that wins that Canadian division, they will come to the States. And I would not be surprised, Ron, if the NHL announced plans to bubble those last 4 teams, because it's only at that point going to be, let's say, 3 weeks. So you're not away from home that long. It's not like there were months for the teams that made the run all the way just last year. I think that's what they'll do. Plus, the other thing is the NHL in the bubble had 0 COVID cases. I think if they can go into the bubble COVID-free and maintain those teams' health, at least from that standpoint, injuries notwithstanding, they're going to want to do it to have the best possible hockey games played. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up at a site like Vegas or Chicago or someplace that's got the the hotel space is important, preferably connected to the rink.
Listen, in a perfect world, put it in Buffalo, because these poor people in Buffalo, they don't even know what a Stanley Cup is, let alone what a playoff is right now. Put it in Buffalo, for God's sake, please, for the love of God.
And you know what, Ron? I think it would be well attended for as much, and that's going to be another thing that'll influence how they pick their site if they're going to bubble. If you look at, and let's use Buffalo versus Las Vegas, both have attached hotels to the arena. Fantastic, right? Well, if Vegas is allowing 50% capacity and Buffalo is only allowing 10, they'll probably go to Vegas because they'll sell more tickets. And I know it's not a huge source of revenue, but it's still part of it.
Yeah, that's true. Tom Callahan, our guest, he is our hockey guru, joining us as always on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. All right, I got to ask, because Gary Bettman's one of those guys that you never know what to expect with the commissioner. I love this format. And as a matter of fact, I love this format so much, I want to keep this format as it is. The East, the Central, the West, and the North. And let's figure out, geography speaking, where you can and where you can't go. And let's go from here. Let's play the Eastern teams a few times and branch it out to the Central, and the West play the West and the Canadians. And I love this. I love the divisions, and I absolutely love how they're doing this. Now, obviously, you got to figure out to play outside of your division, but I absolutely love this.
It's fun. It's been an entertaining season. It is fun to watch because you have some traditional rivalries lumped together, and then you have some brand new ones, which has been cool to see. Edmonton and Calgary have been going at each other forever, but Vancouver, Montreal have had a couple of really testy games this year, and of course Toronto, Montreal. But I cite the Canadian division because here's where I'm going with this. While everybody else geographically in the United States still has a decent travel schedule, the teams on the coasts in the Canadian division, it's miserable because you're flying back and forth. And I know that as much as, and especially Canadians love the Canadian division because there really are bragging rights on the line every night when those teams play. It's just not feasible to continue to do for the long haul. So they'll break eventually back down by geography, border notwithstanding. But, man, it's been fun to watch Winnipeg play Toronto. And like I said, Montreal and Vancouver, or, everybody's kind of pounding on Ottawa right now. But it's just fun to see those teams play each other on a regular basis. And, to see Edmonton and Toronto, the two best teams in the division, going head-to-head. And now Winnipeg has snuck up the standings. And, it's just – I've been very entertained by the matchups this year.
Tom Callahan joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. National Hockey League making some news, signing a lengthy deal with the mothership. ESPN gets a 7-year deal with the National Hockey League beginning next year, so they steal the NHL from NBC. This is a huge get for the ESPN and a huge pick-me-up for the NHL.
If you're a hockey fan, Ron, you're going to need an ESPN Plus subscription, and that's exactly what's going to happen. As a matter of fact, part of the deal is that at the NHL.com streaming, which is I've been buying that package for years because I watch a lot of hockey games, and I like to be able to consume them on the go, so I always buy that stream package. Well, now it's going to be on ESPN Plus. That NHL.com streaming package is going away. So that's a big part of it. That's why ESPN has done this, is for more content. They do get some of the major games. Rumor has it ESPN is going to have most of the games, but that the NHL is still looking for a second broadcast partner, probably NBC properties. And it makes sense. Look at every other league. Look at the NFL is split across a bunch of networks. The NBA is split across the Turner properties and also ESPN, ABC. Major League Baseball is divided. It's just even college football is all over the place. So it makes sense that the NHL would do this to seek multiple partners. ESPN will give them the most exposure. And, if ESPN decides to put its full promotional weight back behind the NHL, ratings should go up.
Well, you have ESPN, you have ESPN2, you have ABC. You have a lot of areas in which you can watch the hockey games. So it just all depends on how much weight ESPN puts behind the NHL. One would think the amount of money that they spent, one would think they're going to be doing a bang-up job, promoting this product.
And they will. They definitely will. And honestly, Ron, look at how different the landscape is than when this TV deal was signed. The last one I'm talking about for the NHL. Since then, they've developed the Winter Classic and all these different things the league has done to really juice up the game, if you will. But by the same token, streaming wasn't a massive thing to people back then. Now we're all used to, well, not all of us, but the majority of us have become used to consuming content that way. Everything is online. We pay for our cable subscriptions online. We do pretty much everything we have online, and especially to the younger generation of fans, that's where they're at. So to say, or to see the push towards the online content here, I'm not surprised. I think that ESPN is building its brand back around that because, let's face it, their terrestrial ratings have fallen lately, and they have cut. We've seen them, and you and I, sensitive to it as sports broadcasters, we've seen them cut jobs left and right for several years now. And, maybe streaming is the new ticket to at least maintain, if not grow once again, the broadcast industry as it relates to sports.
And this is an opportunity for you as a hockey broadcaster to get back into the game.
I would hope so. ESPN has a lot of personalities that are already there, and I kind of wonder, the national voices for NBC Sports right now, I can't imagine that, they won't be part of the national coverage, but maybe not. Maybe Steve Levy becomes the lead voice of the NHL. John Buccigross will, be calling games with Barry Melrose. So Linda Cohn, I'm sure, will get play-by-play opportunities. So, they've got some hockey people on staff who are the hardcore diehards. There's not a lot of them, but there's a few. So we may be looking at a complete change of the landscape. Wouldn't it be interesting? John Forsland, who looked like he was set to completely become the voice of NBC and for the foreseeable future, now, if he doesn't work out a deal with ESPN, we may not hear from him.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you bring up ESPN Plus, which has been streaming all kinds of things. I know Youngstown State, they stream their sporting events on ESPN Plus. They're going to play a major role in this, and it's just from our standpoint, streaming is become extremely popular, and has kept folks like me in business with YSN because we're doing high school events, and starting this summer, we'll be doing the Mahoning Valley Scrappers in the draft league, the MLB draft league. We're going to be doing their games and streaming their games, so it won't be on terrestrial radio. Things are changing an awful lot in the landscape of broadcasting.
They are, and everything is migrating to the online model. A couple of years ago, Ron, when I was living in Indianapolis, I was doing Nashville soccer games from my apartment. They would send a camera crew out to the games, wherever the games are being played, and I would call the game essentially from my living room. And I had, a couple of computers set up and was doing different things, but it's crazy to think that that's where we've gotten to these days, but that is exactly where we are, is that the online model, number one, it's cheaper, it's easier to produce, it requires, unfortunately, less humans, so you're losing jobs, but that's the future.
Well, I mean, you still have to have a broadcaster with the ESPN Plus games, so we're not completely out of the loop per se. Although hopefully no one gets the bright idea of having broadcast-less games like they tried to pull in the National Football League many years ago.
And that's the thing, if TV rights for the powerhouses, like the NBA, like the NFL, those are not going away. People are still going to want to be able to turn on the TV on a Sunday and watch a football game, or Saturday for college football. So, there's certain things that will always be terrestrial over the air. But for, as you mentioned, Youngstown State, it makes sense. Distribute your games on a network that has name recognition and identity and can get you a wider distribution and probably a better look and feel, a more produced look and feel. And, your program now has the prestige of saying, well, we are distributed through ESPN Plus, and that matters. That does matter for advertising dollars, and it matters for, student athletes, and it matters for a lot of people.
Hey, Tom, before we let you go, and we're speaking with our hockey guru, Tom Callahan, who is out in the desert in Arizona, nowhere near baseball. He's in the Tucson area. He's joining us via the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. What surprises do we have in store? I mean, it looks right now everything is pretty much where it should be. The four Canadian teams, Toronto, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Montreal, Vegas, St. Louis, Minnesota, Colorado, although LA is having a good year. In the Central, Carolina, Tampa, Florida, Chicago. In the East, the Islanders, Washington, Pittsburgh, Boston, Philadelphia, trying to make a charge along with Philadelphia is probably the only team. Is there any other teams that could surprise and crash the party in their divisions?
So I think the 4 spot in almost every division is the one you have to look at. Unfortunately for Philadelphia, I think they're in trouble in the East, and Pittsburgh has come on and really shown themselves that they're better than I thought they were going to be, and Philadelphia is kind of falling apart and doesn't seem to have an answer. And the Central, I think Carolina, Florida, Tampa are written in. Chicago's a surprise that they're there, I'll be quite honest. So that 4 spot, anybody in the Central could jump up and take it. Not Detroit, they're rebuilding. I think it's not going to be Nashville. Dallas is weird. I don't understand Dallas. They can't figure themselves out. Columbus doesn't seem to be able to figure themselves out. Maybe addition by subtraction, Chicago stays in. In the West, Minnesota, Vegas look very good right now. To me, both those teams are playing well. It's hard to count St. Louis out. They've been a little inconsistent, and Colorado has been a little inconsistent, but I think those are your 4. And then in Canada, that North Division, Montreal is my question mark. I really think if somebody gets, and I'll tell you what, here's going to be your surprise. Okay, let's actually answer your question. Calgary. Daryl Sutter comes in. He's taking over. I can't believe they fired Jeff Ward as fast as they did. They gave him half a season last year, the first half of the season this year, and decided he wasn't it. I don't think that's enough time. But they bring in Sutter. They give him a 3-year contract. He is the man, so at least they have a direction now. He is the one who came in and took that L.A. Kings team over when they went from one of the worst teams in the league all the way through to win a Stanley Cup in L.A. And I think he has the ability to pick Calgary up by its bootstraps and get them to make a run. So if anybody, and if you're a fantasy hockey player, buy low on Calgary Flames players right now who have traditionally been better than they are.
All right, there you go. How is the hockey talk coming along?
Yeah, it's actually really good. We've added a second show, and Ron's talking about, we do Talking Puck TV. So myself and Mike Haynes, who's the former voice of the Avalanche, and I'm the former voice of the Nashville Predators, Sunday nights at 9 Eastern, but also now we are on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, doing a lunchtime show, and we're on twitch.tv/TalkingPuck. We're also on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and search Talking Puck TV or just Talking Puck, Mike and I show up there. So we do a live show twice a week, and I'm still podcasting 3 times a week as well, doing the Talking Puck podcast. And you know what, Ron? It's been good. We're seeing a lot of growth, and we welcome fans from all over. If you're a Penguins fan, come on. If you're a Blue Jackets fan, come on. We're going to talk about your team. We take live questions from the chat. It's great. It's interactive. And it's just fun. We have a lot of fun. We tell some crazy stories sometimes because Mike and I have seen an awful lot of stuff, as you have. We've got some great stories from our minor league days, especially. So we just have a good time.
Tom? Do you bring up any stories from our days in Elmira?
occasionally Elmira will make the cut. I haven't talked anything about the yellow sweater yet, Ron.
Yeah, there you go.
But I've definitely brought up a couple of stories, and it's kind of funny to think now how much has changed about the game. I started in 1999 doing play-by-play, and I look back now, and it's like, boy, that was back when you had VHS. We talked about bus movies, and how certain VHS tapes would just get left on the bus all season long. So when you're traveling around, you have like a rotation of 3 that one of them always finds their way in on a road trip. So, and I'm sure you had that too on the baseball side. I mean,
absolutely.
Bull Durham was probably lodged in the VCR.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. Varsity Blues found its way into the tray as well, which was weird. All right, look, you brought up the yellow sweater. We gotta talk about it. It's it was just one of those things. I used to have I used to have a lot of sweaters, and this pullover sweater was cream yellow. It was not really a yellow. It was more of a creamish yellow. But I would wear this sweater predominantly to do the games with the Elmira Jackals. You and I were hooked up. You were the play-by-play guy, and I was fooling everyone into thinking my hockey knowledge was such where I was a decent color commentator, let's be honest. I didn't know a damn thing about hockey. You taught me. And it was fun. And everyone loved to have some fun at my expense on this god-awful, really horrible-looking cream yellow sweater of mine, which after that year, it went to Goodwill.
But Ron, do you remember? Because we would talk about it on air, and we would kind of poke fun at it. But we had an unofficial yellow sweater night.
Yes, we did.
I just told people to wear their yellow sweaters to the game, and we had a smattering of people.
We had a lot of people wearing yellow sweaters in the arena, which was hilarious.
It was incredible, but I thought it was a wonderful tribute to you and your impact as well on the broadcast. I think people enjoy. You know what? When you're having fun and you're genuine about it, I don't care what you're doing, whether it's broadcasting a hockey game or being a frontline worker right now. Sometimes it can be tough, sometimes it can be stressful, but at the end of the day, I mean, people can relate, and I think they did, and I'll always remember that, looking out in the crowd and seeing all those yellow sweaters. That was something I'll never forget it.
No, that was pretty cool, and I just shook my head that night wondering, why in the world would anyone put a yellow sweater on? But it spoke volumes, and I think the folks at Goodwill looked at this and go, is this really the sweater? What are you talking about?
Well, and probably the next week, Ron, they got all those yellow sweaters.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that you're probably right on this. Yeah, it was a canary yellow sweater, which sadly after the hockey season, it went to Goodwill, and I'd like to think that someone got some good use out of that really hideous-looking thing. So there you go. Tom, always a pleasure, sir. We will hopefully stay in touch and not be strangers to one another, and get you back on the program before the playoffs begin.
100%, Ron, and I do want to say congratulations, you and the station, and for baseball fans in the area. Tremendous that you guys are going to be doing the games, so that's very exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's and the fact that Major League Baseball has put their weight behind this draft league, I think that the potential for this league is sky high, and I'll be really curious to see where we go with this. This should be an awful lot of fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I can't wait to hear you back doing some baseball games.
All right, brother. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Ron.
See ya. Tom Callahan, our hockey guru, joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. All right, we're going to take a timeout back in a bit. It's a Friday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer goes the extra mile to bring you the largest selection of vehicles at one convenient location. With guaranteed credit approval, I will find you the right vehicle and the right financing options for you. I am ready to go the extra mile to show you why no other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. Champ just tweeted me, "Hey, Ron, your sweater is now the #1 pullover worn by the homeless. Previous top garment among the homeless was the puffy shirt from Seinfeld." Somehow I think the yellow sweater is now in the fabric in the sky, if you will. I sincerely doubt that sweater is making the rounds in the homeless or Goodwill for that matter. I dropped that bad boy off after the year was over. I was like, yeah, no, we're going to pass on this. But yeah, Tom brought up something I completely forgot about, but I got a serious chuckle out of it. They decided on the fly, they decided, hey, let's do a yellow sweater night and see how many people are actually paying attention to the broadcast. And they normally drew anywhere from 2,500 to 4,000 fans a night. So I think it was a weeknight game, and they were just hey, it's bring your yellow sweater and you get a couple bucks off of a seat or something like that. There was a good amount of people wearing yellow sweaters, and I was just like cracking up the entire broadcast. I was like, I can't believe people would be wearing yellow sweaters in the arena to watch the Jackals play. And back then, the Elmira Jackals, that was a fun team. Yeah, it was a fun team. There were some interesting characters on that team, guys that would throw the gloves down from the get-go, the beginning of the game. The official would have the hockey puck, and you drop the puck, and the game begins. With a face-off. The puck drops, and all of a sudden, one of our tough guys has already dropped his gloves, and he's ready for a fight. I'm like, what the hell is this? The game just started. You're already ready to go? Yeah, it was interesting to say the least. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Again, tonight we have a regional championship game and a trip to the Final Four on the line tonight for the Warren JFK Eagles. Warren JFK will be taking on Richmond Heights, and that is tonight at 7 o'clock from Firestone High School in Akron. Best of luck to Warren JFK as they take on Richmond Heights. Again, JFK 13-4 on the campaign. Richmond Heights 16-4 on the campaign. Richmond Heights defeated Bristol Tuesday night 77-67. JFK defeated Lucas 54-48. We've talked about this game an awful lot. For JFK to win this game, you cannot, under any circumstances, get into a up and down battle with Richmond Heights. They'll beat you. You're going to have to slow the pace down, get into a half-court set, and defensively, you're going to have to play defense every square inch of that basketball floor. From baseline to baseline, end line to end line, you are going to have to play defense, and defense, and, oh, by the way, defense. And JFK can do that. JFK is an exceptionally good defensive team. They can play solid defense. This Richmond Heights team is not unbeatable. They aren't. But this is a really good team, and we talked about how they loaded up their schedule. They played two teams that went to the Division I regionals. They played Lakewood St. Ed's. They played Cleveland St. Ignatius. They also played arguably the best basketball team in the state of Ohio in Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. And Richmond Heights lost all three of those games, but by a combined 20 points. Richmond Heights is good. They are really, really good, but they are beatable. And for JFK to beat this team, they're going to have to play a massive, massive game of defense, limit the turnovers, and get a half-court set, dictate the tempo of the game. If they can do that, JFK's got a shot here. JFK has a shot at Richmond Heights, and that's all you can ask for. Now, all you can ask for is a shot at the team, and they get their chance with Richmond Heights tonight from Akron Firestone High School. That's a 7 o'clock start. That's the last hope for the area in boys basketball. Girls basketball tomorrow morning at 10:45. McDonald plays for a state championship against Fort Loramie. And Fort Loramie is a very big team, and we're talking big height-wise. 5 kids at 5'10" or bigger. So McDonald is not going to have the size advantage that they had against Waterford. So they're going to be the ones that are going to have to be able to get some open space and create their own shot. Now, the good news is there's more than enough kids on Tony Mattesi's team that can create their own shot. But like Warren JFK, McDonald is going to have to play every square inch of that basketball floor is going to have to be defended. Baseline to baseline, end line to end line, every square inch of that floor must be defended. And they're going to have to be able to dictate tempo. Don't allow Fort Loramie to go off and running and just play the half-court set. Get the Howard girls and Constantino and get them to get their open shots. And hopefully the basketball gods are smiling on McDonald. Yesterday they shot over 50% from the floor. They're going to need to do that against Fort Loramie to get the victory. And it's doable. Both teams have a shot. Both teams have a legitimate chance to win tonight and tomorrow morning, but they're going to have to play the game of their life in order to get the job done, because make no mistake about this, Richmond Heights and Fort Loramie are the best of the best of the best. And the good news is we've got two really good teams that are going to be playing them. And I think that if JFK and McDonald can both play their brand of basketball, they have an outstanding chance at getting the job done. Let's go to Rich. Rich, you're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What's going on, brother?
Hey, good afternoon, young man. Ron.
What's up, man?
Enjoying a beautiful spring day.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah, buddy. It's here. Spring is in the air. I have a robin at 5:45 a.m. right outside my back window, and then a cardinal comes in with a duet at about 6:10.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, it's nice, except that not if you don't want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Hey, congratulations on your Scrappers gig.
Yeah, should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And as I've said, Major League Baseball, if they market this correctly, this could be a really, really fun league.
Oh, sure. Now, is this going to be developmental, or is this going to be something different?
Well, this is the draft league. So these are kids that have not played professional baseball as of yet. They're going to be kids that are draft eligible players. They're going to be selected by Prep Baseball Report and Major League Baseball. The best of the best. Kids that are looking to improve their draft stock, or kids that are looking to get drafted. So there's going to be a really good amount of talent spread out among the 6 franchises in this league. And like I said, Rich, I think that there's going to be some damn good talent in this league.
You know what? Real baseball, no prima donnas.
Well, and again, it's these kids. It's the old adage of betting on yourself. These kids, if they have a really good year with this league, they could drastically improve their draft stock.
Wow. That means plenty of scouts will be around.
Well, there's going to be plenty of scouts. There's no two ways about that. There will be plenty of scouts and plenty of farm directors at these games. There's no question.
When does this season begin, Ron?
It'll be in late May. May 26th is the opening, the home opener for the Scrappers. They'll begin on the road, so the home broadcasts begin on May the 26th.
You don't go on the road with them?
No broadcaster will. So the home team will provide the broadcast for both teams.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how many games are you looking to call?
38.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
no, actually 34. I beg your pardon. 34 games will be the amount of games called.
You're going to have a blast this summer.
Oh, absolutely. No two ways about it. I'm looking forward to it.
So will we, while you're so exuberant about your experiences.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Hey, have a great weekend. I'll be in touch with you.
All right, brother. See you. 330-886-0813. We'll put the wraps on this bad boy coming up after this. Stick around.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
The 2021 Auto Show must go on, exclusively at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Save more during the Extra Mile Auto Show with employee pricing for everyone on some of our most popular models. Plus, get an additional $1,000 on the value of your trade. Schedule a test drive today to experience the 2021 lineup for yourself.
Visit GreenwoodAutoShow.com
to see how Greenwood Chevrolet can go the extra mile for you.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. DJ and the fellas coming up next with Power Hour. They'll take you through the 3 o'clock hour. I'm back on Monday. Mandy Bell from MLB.com. She covers the Indians. Mandy will be joining us on Monday at 2:30. We will also be joined by 21 Sports Director Dana Balish, and hopefully we'll be talking about a McDonald's State Championship and a JFK trip to the state semifinals in girls and boys basketball, respectively. He will be on at 1 o'clock, and Bob Hannon, the voice of the YSU football Penguins, will be joining me at 2 o'clock, and hopefully we'll be talking about YSU getting their first victory of the season. They play South Dakota State tomorrow afternoon, and hopefully, fingers crossed, a win for the YSU football Penguins. That'll do it for the show. Have a great weekend. We will talk on Monday, noon to 3. Running Point, Monday through Friday, noon to 3 on YSU.